Hi everyone, welcome back to FS22 No Man's Land. In this series, I have been appointed as a manager to make this uninhabited land habitable again. So to start off in May, you can see me wandering about on this hillside, planning on what I'm going to do with it, and I've decided that this is where the grapes and olives are going to go. Therefore, I requested the help of the people who currently live here to help me make a path throughout the land that we own so that it's very easy to get around and travel and also transport all the goods and products that we make. The next thing I did was set about starting to create more fields because of the issue with the winter and that we haven't got enough fields to produce crops in order to feed the entire community that lives here. Through the winter, I've come up with the idea of just purely focusing on providing grapes, corn and olives for this year. So this month I spent a lot of time helping others create fields and plant some crops in them, as well as working on the hillside to plant the vineyards for olives and grapes too. When I first started making these fields, I realised that this plough was way too small to be able to create a field in the amount of time that I had. So I had to go back to the store and find a much bigger one, which was really helpful and completed the creation of the fields in literally half of the time. Then once finishing this field, I carried on and went to set myself up for creating yet another field while the others were planting the corn. However, I did notice that an overgrown path was down this way and went to investigate a bit closer because I could see a little path going off into the middle of nowhere. When I went down there, I came across an old man that seemed quite lost but insistent that this was still his land. He made it very clear that this was his land and that he was so unhappy that someone had bought it and then stripped him of his belongings. I then had an idea because we needed animals and that would really help with us making it through winter with all the meat. So what I did was I promised this man that I would build him a new farm if he would help me. And he did, he agreed. So I set off then, making a path up to his house, terraforming the landscape and also building a new farmhouse, barns and animal pens for him. So the first thing I did was flatten out the terrain and make the path a bit more clearer so that there's a distinct place for the farmhouse, the barn and the machinery shed to go, as you can see here. The next thing I did was put up a load of animal sheds and places for them to live, and I added chickens, horses, cows, sheep, pigs for the farmer. This included beef and dairy cows, and the farmer also mentioned that he used to use horses to plough his fields with, so I also added a few of those. Obviously the pigs, sheep and beef will also help with the winter problems with food, so there won't be as much shortage as before. And of course the surrounding land will be used for grass for the animals, and along with other fields that we will build in the new year so that the farmer will have enough food to maintain his livestock over time, and we can also get that for now by importing it onto the land instead of growing it. As you can see, there's a lot of land for the farmer to be using, and we also managed to buy him a Voltra tractor so that he can use it for his daily errands and also to get across his land quite easily, seeing as he is a little bit older. Also by the animal pens, we put in a hay and straw storage area, some areas for the silage to be kept and for the grass to be turned into silage too. This is the beef field, as you can see, and then there's the sheep pen over here, which also includes a little section with a shed and a little sorting area so the farmer can have an easier job at doing it instead of the sheep running everywhere. The next thing I did is actually put the animals in their pens, so here you can see the sheep, and then we went over and popped the beef cows in, then the dairy cows, and then the chickens, the pigs and the horses. We kept the horses to a manageable amount, so we only gave the farmer 3. I think this would be a good amount for him to take care of in his older years so that he can keep them up until they're also old, but at the moment they are also old enough to help around with the farm chores when needed and also good enough for him to be able to take care of safely. So this is once again an overview of the farmhouse and then a little sneak peek of the tractor that we bought the farmer. Meanwhile, I then finished off the field because Louis had gone on his food break, and then we also popped in some fences and lights for the farmer as well, so in the dark he is safe and can see his way around well, and also the fence makes clear what's his land and what's not. Although the fences makes it seem like the farmland isn't actually that big, all of the grass around the farmer's place is going to be belonging to him, and also the trees as well, so he can do that in the winter if he runs out of jobs and is up to date with everything. I also put the place where the wool is made and the fabric is made for the tailor's shop and the dairy storage at the bottom of his farm, and we also connected a road to it. We also included within the middle of the town a little tailor shop, so this is very close to where the clothing will be produced. So it's literally down the road, as you can see at the end of the road there, it's right there. So the farmer can just make a really short trip down and he will also earn money from that. Then we also finished the olives and the grape vineyards up on the side of the hill, which look great. The olives are already looking very good and the grapes haven't started growing yet, but hopefully they will by next month so that we can get some good yield out of them. Also, during all of this, I finished off all the paths around the area with the help of the people working here. The forest people have been very helpful with everything as well, making the paths, removing all the blockages caused by the council, and helping me put up the vineyards, build the farmhouse and the pens for the animals. I will also be putting a hunter's tower in the forests so that there can be someone to overlook the forest and also hunt there. And then in between the fields that we created this month, I also put a little biodiverse area to keep the nature flowing in and out and increasing the yield for the produce and the crops because of the bees that will be attracted to the area. As it might be clear by now, I have completely given up on worrying about what the council thinks and I'm just going ahead, otherwise these people won't survive and I won't get the job done as a manager. So please tune in to the next episode to see if we actually make it through the winter and get more people into this land to see what else we do with it. See you in the next episode. Bye everyone.